convert abandoned toll booths into washrooms in various parts of the country. And today is No Calls Day. This is according to a group of Ghanaians who are in opposition of the chaotic ongoing SIM registration across the country. These and many more coming up shortly. Remember, we are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We are on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Do stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's begin with the APPEATSE report. You may have followed incidents that led to the explosion in that town. A report by a committee set up to investigate the incident is out, and Maxam Ghana Limited has been fined in that report. My colleague Raymond Aqua is in the studio with me. He has details of that. I nearly forgot your surname. What does the report say, Raymond?
The minister chronicled the incident that happened on that particular day, and the fact that he set up a committee, and he insisted that the three-member committee, which was chaired by the Minerals Commission CEO Benjamin I, come out with a report. But part of the report states that regulatory breaches on the part of Maxam Ghana Limited in respect of the manufacture, storage, and transportation of explosives for mining and other civil works. These breaches, according to the regulatory law in that area, the LI 2177, attract fines, and the fine is supposed to range from 600,000 cedis, 600 cedis to $10,000. But the minister says, having regard to the nature and totality of the circumstances leading to the tragic event, he, as minister responsible for lands and natural resources, and therefore the overseer of activities in the sector, he has imposed an administrative fine of the cedi equivalent of $1 million at the prevailing commercial rate on Maxam. The other point, though, is that in addition to the fine, it has been agreed after extensive discussions with Maxam that the company will pay the government of Ghana the cedi equivalent of $5 million also at the prevailing commercial rate. And this says that for the avoidance of doubt, the total amount by Maxam to the government stands at $6 million or its cedi equivalent at the commercial prevailing rate. So without doubt, government says, even though ideally, if you look at the scope within the law, how much you are supposed to charge them for what's currently happening or what they are supposed to have breached, it's supposed to range between 600 cedis and $10,000. Okay. But administrative charges that the government has levied against Maxam is $1 million. Apart from that, Maxam is also supposed to pay government of Ghana an amount of $5 million. In all, we are talking about $6 million. The cedi equivalent of which, at the prevailing commercial rate, is what will be paid to the coffers of the government for what has happened, because there were breaches and because Maxam sat with government to discuss many others. That's not all. It also says that Maxam shall pay the fine of $1 million or cedi at the prevailing commercial before the restoration of its permit to manufacture, store, supply, and or transport explosives. So the money gets back to its original fold. If the $1 million is not paid, the permit, it was suspended for investigations commence, right? Yeah. That permit will not be restored. And given the demonstrable cash inflows of Maxam and their current circumstances, the remaining $5 million should be paid in 18 equal monthly installments from the 1st of March 2022 to the 1st of August 2023. So the payment structure is this way. Okay. If you pay the $1 million first, government of the Republic of Ghana will give you a license to operate. Okay. But from that particular date, the next $5 million ought to be paid in equal monthly installments of 18 months. And we're talking about the 1st of March 2022 to the 1st of August 2023. Now, the government is also saying that Maxam shall therefore pay to government on the 1st of March 2022 and on every first day of each month until final payment, an amount of $277,777.78 it's the equivalent, okay, which will be paid to government of Ghana on the 1st of every particular month.
in that same report, the minister goes ahead to say that they put in place measures to ensure mining or people who are engaged in mining follow the procedures, so we don't have this recur. What does the minister say?
So 2 things. It separates the specific things that Maxam is supposed to do, so that it doesn't end up in what we found ourselves in the last couple of weeks.
And if it does failure to do that, they will not get back their license.
Yes, and it actually says that Maxam shall not transport on a public road unless notice of the transportation has been given to the chief inspector of the mines or the regional mines inspector at least 48 hours before the scheduled time for transportation to enable the requisite inspection and certification to be carried out before the transportation of the explosives to a mine or quarry site. Now, it also says an inspector of mines or explosives shall be present and will inspect, verify, and record in the designated explosive logbook or logbook for transportation all the requisite safety requirements, rules, and protocols which should have been met before explosives are transported from the original site or the operational site of the company to a mine or a quarry site. The other point that the government is insisting would be done is that an inspector of mines shall physically inspect the explosive truck to ensure that the explosive truck is in good working condition in accordance with the truck examination list, and that the truck driver has a professional driver's license to drive the vehicle before the loading of the explosives onto the truck. It also says that all trucks which is used by the company in carting explosives shall have all the requirements, which include a red flashing light clearly visible at 100 meters, a siren, hooter, or automatically operated bell, an automatic fire suppression system, alongside other fire extinguishers which are expected on the vehicle, a tracking system which is supposed to help monitor the speed and movement of the explosive truck here. Another important part of this insistence is that this vehicle would have an integrated monitoring system to check the driver's fatigue, so to know whether the driver is driving at the right age. And now a megaphone to warn people or bystanders in case of danger. And there's one more thing. That truck should have drive cameras to monitor the explosive trucks drivers. So cameras, a system to know that the man is not tired, and also a system to warn people in case of any danger. Now, moving beyond the car itself, before each explosive truck takes off from the operational site of the company, the waybill for the transportation shall be endorsed by the inspector of mines, and that requires that who will be satisfied that the explosives are under the direct control of a person who has a certificate or competence or certificate of competence in accordance with Regulation 15.2 of the LI 2177. The escort vehicle is also required here. We know that's very controversial. Now, it says here that the escort vehicle must have a red flashing light clearly indicating at 50 meters away and a siren or hooter or an automatic operated bell. The elements of the escort vehicle should include the transportation of explosive on public roads shall have 2 escorts. One leading the explosive truck and maintaining a distance of 50 meters. And at most 60 meters.
That's what the law says, actually.
That's what it's saying, that it should be the case.
So let's look at the conclusion where he puts in a long-term measure to check some of these things. The minister, he has a 4-point measure he seeks, and I think it starts by undertaking a general review of the health and safety regime. That
is the job of the committee he put together. This committee is under the chairmanship of Professor Richard Amankwa, who is the vice chancellor of the George Park Grant University of Mines and Technology, what we call UMAT, recently. And of course, yes, their terms of reference are clear. It includes undertaking a general review of the health and safety regime of the mining industry, reviewing the existing laws, regulations, and guidelines on health and safety standards in the mining industry, and an inquiry into any matter relating to the health and safety in the mining industry. The 4th one is also to make recommendations to government for legislative policy and other reforms it may deem fit.
And these are the recommendations from the committee?
The committee is yet to come up with what they call it, its actual work. 2 things have happened. The first committee is the committee to investigate what has happened. And that committee found Maxam culpable for some breaches.
And they have
they have also recommended, but the minister is telling you that I've set up another committee. This committee, which was launched a couple of days ago, is supposed to do specific things, which I've just outlined to you. This committee is supposed to look into mining generally and fix the problems of safety and health issues that has been complained about for a very long time, but has been highlighted by the recent event.
Okay, once and for all. Thank you so much. Raymond Akwa is my colleague, and he brought us the details of the report of the PAR Grant Committee, right?
No. The PAR Grant Committee is the new one.
The new one that is going to...
That actually, the PAR Grant is the university from which this committee, the chairman of the University of Mines and Technology, is supposed to, at the Takwa School, right? That school, its vice chancellor is chairing the new committee.
The new committee,
the old committee is what has a report out already.
Okay.
The first one set up to investigate.
Which found Maxam culpable.
Yes. And they're supposed to pay some 6 million.
That has been fined.
5 extended.
6 million. Thank you so much. Let's move on to other stories. A 70-year-old man, Isahako Mahamadu, has been assaulted for practicing witchcraft at Damango in the Savannah region. Soothsayer accused Isahako of making a child sick and also spiritually killing another person. The 70-year-old man is currently receiving treatment at the Damango Catholic Hospital. It could be recalled that Mary Ibrahim, a 62-year-old woman in Damango, was also almost killed for practicing witchcraft. We have on the line Abdulaziz Isahako, his grandson, to tell us more. Abdulaziz, I'm grateful for your time. Tell us exactly what happened. Hello, Abdulaziz. Do we have Abdulaziz on the line?
Yes, this is Abdulaziz.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us what exactly happened to your grandfather.
Okay, thank you, sir. Saturday, around 8 in the morning, around 8 a.m. in the morning, my grandfather, he went to take corona injection, and a messenger came to his house and came and asked about him, and they said that he went, and the wife told the messenger that the husband has left. He went to inject corona. So when he came back, the wife told him that someone, Zina, sent a messenger here looking for him. So he was still in the house, and another woman who came and said that some child has told a lie on him, so he should come and defend himself. And my grandfather said, someone has told a lie on me, even a small child told a lie on me, and I should come and defend myself. And they say, yes, okay, then let's go. So when they went and met that small child, and that Zina woman asked that this child said that you has put some leaves in one woman's door, and he stepped it and entered, and now the woman is lying down. He's about to die. That is this child who said that. Is it true? And I said, me, I've never seen this child before. So, and I don't.
Your grandfather was wrongly accused. Can you describe the level of? Can you describe the level of injuries your grandfather sustained?
Oh yeah, for injuries that he has sustained. Currently, as I'm speaking, my grandfather is in the hospital. He has a cut in his forehead, his head, and his neck. They used a rope, a twine. I don't know, either they were trying to hang him or something like that, just for him to admit that I killed this person.
Have you reported?
They mounted pressure on him to a certain instant that he has nothing to do than to accept that I killed these people, just for him to leave. The beating and the beating and how they were doing to him.
Okay. Have you reported to the police, and what has been done so far?
Yes, we've reported to the police because when the thing started around 8 p.m. in the morning, so when the woman just called him and sent him to his house, it was 2 a.m. in the morning that he released him. So when she released him and they brought him to our house, because how they beat him, so we were looking at if we didn't send him to the hospital, he can just die. He can just die because how he's complaining about his rest. They used some wood to hit his rest and his chest. For the injuries we are not talking about, but how he's complaining about the rest and the chest, maybe he can just, there may be some clotting and it will result to death. So we said that we have to rush him to the hospital. So when we rushed him to the hospital, they said that no, that we have to go back to the police and go and take a form, the police form. So we went there and lodged our complaint. We went and wrote our statement, and they gave us the police form. So currently, as I'm speaking, I'm in the hospital while talking to you.
And how is your grandfather faring?
Pardon?
How is he faring?
Oh, now for the injuries is now better, but he's now complaining about the wrist and the chest.
All right, Abdulaziz is grandson of this old man who's been accused of witchcraft. Thank you so much, Abdulaziz. Isaac Nonya is our Savannah region correspondent. He's also been following this for us. Isaac Nonya, what have you gathered so far?
Hello?
Yes, Isaac, what have you gathered so far for us? All right, so we'll try and get Isaac Nonya again on this one. The line seemed to be terrible to this story. Now, the National Communication Authority, so these are the, what's the no-call day members, the group is demanding from the NCA. It says it should immediately withdraw its directive for mobile network customers to re-register their SIM cards by 31st March 2020. Now, when the appropriate legal framework is in place, a re-registration exercise can be done without having subscribers spend productive hours and several days in long queues in the midst of a ravaging COVID-19 pandemic. And 3, there's understandably a need to eliminate crime, but the fight against criminals must be within the law. It says they are calling and demanding that the NCA and mobile network operators must come up with a better and more innovative way of re-registering the SIM cards by first amending existing law, secondly to do so without the current inhumane re-registration process we're witnessing. The group includes former Kumbungu MP Ras Mubarak, Dean of University of Ghana School of Law, Professor Raymond Atuguba, President and Vice President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kojo, and Kofi Bentel, private legal practitioner Samson Ladi. Let's hear from the organizers.
People, as a journalist, I use my phone a lot, but we are also in a society that we must begin to set up and fight for our rights. And there is no way in this world that you fight without losing anything. There's a cost to everything. But the general impact we intend to make, the gains we intend to make from all these actions will go a long way to benefit all of us. It is better to lose or to decide to keep off or not even receive any call for 6 hours, than to lose your right to make phone calls at all. The problem in this country, as we all know, is that by the 31st of March, if nothing is done about this directive and what is happening, a lot of people are going to lose their right to make phone calls and to even use mobile money and other transactions or services that are provided by these telcos.
And we expect that as time goes on, more people would also join in. And the reason is that it is to simulate the kind of losses that telecoms are going to expect, or the economy is going to expect, when they actually proceed to the full shutdown of numbers that have not been registered. If today they are laughing at subscribers who want to participate in this boycott, then they should imagine the loss to the nation if more people are actually robbed of the chance to use their SIM cards, which is their bona fide property, for activities that are legitimate and are, as a matter of fact, they are right to do. And this is the beginning of such, like Manasseh said earlier, and like we all put it, that we want to look at the situation where in the very near future, if there is still no consultation, we will cascade this till it really becomes a dent or a mark in terms of the national telecom landscape.
Well, because organizers have turned off their phones, you're unable to reach them, but we will try and connect them after midday and see what they have for us. Let's take your views on Facebook, Twitter. There's been a lot of comments coming in on this one, and that's what we tweeted. Today is No Calls Demo Day. Are you for or against this action? Will you join? Share your views with us. And these are your comments on Twitter. I start with Jerry. He says, so sake of demonstration, make we lose business deals. No for me. There are better ways to get the message across. Think Straight says, I have made about 4 calls, cry. And at Jesse, okay, so he's... All right, so there are a lot more comments there. At Katanga Mayborn says, this country waiting. Why do they pay those who participate in every demonstration? Why do they pay everybody who participates in demonstration? Because demonstration is becoming common nowadays. And Raphael says, we're all probably not happy about the way the SIM registration process is going, but to not receive calls 6 to 12 for some people, that is a lot of money lost. People need to make calls to keep their business running. Now, at Yao Desmond, he says, okay, he's talking about amount of love. Okay, so that's away from what we are talking about. And so let's get on to Facebook. This is what people are saying on Twitter. A lot more of your comments on Facebook. Let's pull that out and see. Anan says the Ghana card must be done again if truly they want to go with the system. They should re-register again, or they should leave us in peace. It's not fair. Not everyone has the Ghana card. I am against it. I just finished making a call now. This one, Gohado, I think I've already made 7 calls just this morning. Oh, I didn't see it early. That's Kwejo. Sam, I've made like 40 calls this morning. Anthony Kwabena says, what about data usage? And Kweku comes in to say, don't worry, the real demo will come when they block the SIM cards and they start losing. And your comments on Facebook. We're still live on News Desk. I'll take a break. There's more when we return. Welcome back to News Desk and to the rest of our stories. The Roads Minister, Kwesi Amakwata, has revealed that processes are underway to convert abandoned toll booths into washrooms in various parts of the country. According to the minister, the move is to ensure the cessation of the practice whereby commuters and drivers ease themselves by the roadside. The minister made this revelation after officials of the National Road Safety Committee Authority appealed to the ministry to remove the various toll booths if the government has no alternate use for them.
We have the safety departments. So I have director of safety, in our all the agencies. So safety issues are key, and Ghana National Road Safety Authority, we work with them hand in hand, and we will know it. If you listen to the news reportage, they even indicated that from their interaction with us, they realized that we ourselves had even taken that step already. We know it, So at the appropriate time, we are going to take them out. And we have alternative use for all the 38 or so toll booth centers across the country. Because we have plans for all those who were working in the toll booths. Okay, we are going to continue to work with them. And we have come out with a lot of suggestions. We even want to refurbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists.
Vice-Chancellor of the University of Allied Sciences, Professor John Japon, has revealed of an impending meeting this afternoon between the Vice-Chancellor's UTAG and government in an attempt to resolve the strike by the university teachers. Speaking on the AM show, Professor Japon said the meeting is without the involvement of the National Labour Commission.
Yesterday, following the court decision, NLC called for a meeting. And we are told that UTAG did not honor the meeting because, as they've always put it, they don't trust the NLC.
Through its lawyer, it made it clear that it wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. So Vice-Chancellor's Ghana is working behind the scenes to try and facilitate a discussion. I can tell you for a fact that this afternoon, Vice-Chancellor's Ghana, UTAG, and the employer are going to have a meeting. So all is not lost. I sincerely believe that once we sit around the table, there will be some give and take, and then we move on. We all want to put this behind us.
Okay, so basically what failed to happen yesterday is going to happen today?
Without NLC.
Without the NLC?
Yes.
Why? Is it because the NLC is a problem?
I don't want to get into that. As I said, I don't speak for UTAG, and I've never engaged NLC in recent times. But I believe that the court said that the employer and the employees should talk. As to whether it is facilitated by NLC or facilitated by Vice-Chancellor's Ghana. I think at the end of the day, we want a solution. So let's leave it as that.
Meanwhile, the students who are threatening to demonstrate have issued a statement. I'll share a few of the excerpts of that statement with you. It's titled Police Intimidation Demo Postponed. The leadership of the Coalition of Concerned University Students has noted with grave concern and despair the deliberate attempt by government through the Ghana Police Service to frustrate its intended demonstration in a most unwelcoming manner. We are equally expressing our revulsion at the Greater Accra Regional Police Command for reneging on the agreed modalities for the demonstration and resorting to intimidation. At the midnight meeting in the premises of the University of Ghana campus, with the national and regional leadership of Ghana Police Service, it was disclosed to leadership that approved routes for the demonstration after thorough deliberations by the command may have to be changed on grounds that the public stands to be inconvenienced by the use of the road leading from Okonglo to the Jubilee House. Moreover, it is regarded as a national security threat to the nation. This sudden directive comes after an earlier police approval of the same route on 7th February at the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. It further indicated that refusal to comply with the directive will compel the police to arrest all demonstrators and conveners who will make appearance. While we intend to, so it says we shall on Thursday join various CSOs, youth groups, and National Democratic Congress in its demonstration to register this quiet. Our resolve to fight for the ordinary Ghanaian student is unquenchable, and we will, through all means necessary, fight for that common interest. We reassure all members of the coalition and the entire student populace of our commitment and undying dedication to advocate on their behalf, and is signed by all conveners and leaders of the caucus. Chief Executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Ajamandia, has revealed that consumers will have to pay more than 8 cedis per litre for fuel come March. Mr. Kwekwajimandia explains, should the price of petroleum products continue to soar on the international market, among other things, Ghanaians would be experiencing new price hikes in March. We may hit the 8 cedi mark. He spoke on PM Express last night.
Just yesterday, Nigeria talked about subsidizing their fuel, $7.83 billion they're putting out there to subsidize it for the public to have a complex. Question is, can we do the same? We don't have money.
I mean, so do I hear you suggesting that one of the ways out is government should consider subsidizing the fuel at the pumps for the consumers?
No, not really. I'm not a fan of subsidy at all.
Okay.
Because normally subsidies are not quite targeted and it falls into different hands. And some people can afford to enjoy it, they call the transport right, the restoration. I'm not a fan of subsidy at all. But even if we were to be, what I'm saying is, we were to have subsidy, the government have money to even do the subsidy. Just like the friends in Nigeria are there. Just yesterday, they talk about $7.83 billion. Every $7.83 billion is almost our budget. So it's the carriers where we find ourselves. And the sad aspect is that we are bringing the land nothing. This is so that it's going up. And we haven't had any solution to get an affirmation.
I mean, talking about solutions, Senor Hosi earlier said that the prices that we are already complaining about at the pumps, which the drivers say they have to pass it on to everybody else, it's going to get worse. We are currently at, what, 7 cedi, 50 pesos. I think that's the maximum you get on the market if you're buying diesel and petrol. We are currently there. I mean, is the price we see now going to go up even higher and possibly reach a 8 cedi?
It will, because if you look at the way the dollar per barrel is going, I told you we are in the worst hands of the rate. It hit $94. Prediction is that it's going to cross the $100 barrel mark. And if it does, obviously this one will go up. Even this 59 you are mentioning, we are not going to a full throttle. The OMCS are not going to a full throttle of the market percent biggest margin. This is about 70% of what they should get. And remember, over the period we have been lost a special amount of the margin. Some of them were even there. So I don't think it's actually equal, but you need to have a balance in life to be able to survive. And that's what we are trying to do.
Let me ask you finally, if you do your projections at the OMCS, say to the end of the year, where are you anticipating the prices, the average price will end, say by close of year, if the trend doesn't stop?
Oh, I've not done that, but the short term now to March, I'm sure we'll be crossing the 8 cities.
Senior Presidential Advisor Osafo Mafu is calling for what he describes as code of conduct for religious groupings. He believes such an act will help reduce the work of government, as religious leaders will be assisting government in its work. He was speaking at a ceremony to honor the head pastor of the Royal House Chapel, Sam Kranchankra, with a U.S. President Lifetime Achievement Award for his humanitarian acts. There's more in this report by Hannah Odami.
For years, the Royal House Chapel, through its founder, Apostle General Sam Kranchankra, have been involved in acts which assist vulnerable persons achieve their goals. Prisoners who come out have been helped to reintegrate in society through the church's compassion program.
I was really much of a gangster. I ended up in Sawan prison with a sentence of 11 years on my head. I was in the library just doing some studies, and I heard a voice. The voice was very different from all the other men of God who had come there. You could tell that this guy meant business to bring some people out of prison.
Persons who were either dropouts or had no money to get educated were helped to get back to school.
I just heard that there is a scholarship foundation in the church. So I walked up to Mama Rita one day and then just spoke to her about it. So that very year, Daddy and Mommy, out of their pockets, sponsored my fees to St. Augustine's College.
These acts by the church in Ghana have been replicated in other countries, including the USA and Jamaica. This was why Apostle General was selected for the U.S. President's Life Achievement Award.
You are helping discover and deliver solutions to the challenges we face, solutions that we need now more than ever.
Receiving the award, Apostle Sam Kranchiankra, who pledged to continue helping people, also called on government to cut down expenditure in the public sector.
If our politicians will place at their heart the first and foremost the desire to see this nation move forward, that all of us as citizens of this nation will have the equitable share of the national cake. Show the example by cutting national expenditure. They must punish themselves a little bit. And when we see that expenditure is being cut down, if they call upon us to pay taxes, whatever they ask us to pay, we shall pay with gladness and willingness, because we all know that we all suffer to gain.
Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Mafu, who was the special guest of honor, tasked Christians to rise up to that role of aiding government in its work.
We need to have what I call self-discipline, self-examination, so that we examine among ourselves. We have a code of conduct in Christendom that will perhaps reduce the work of government. Because if people are straightened, stealing will go down. People are straightened, many of the bad social things we see and hear will be eliminated. And I think we need spiritual leaders like Most Reverend Kranchiankra to do self-purging among the Christendom, to take an extra leadership role in the Christendom, so that we correct a lot of the ills of the land.
Also at the ceremony was the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Korte, who asked for support in the ministry's campaign dubbed Operation Clean Your Frontage.
I want to humbly plead with the Most Reverend that we have embarked on what I call Operation Clean Your Frontage. And I want to hand over this area and the Kadeshi area to the Most Reverend. We want to make him one of our ambassadors to Operation Clean Your Frontage. Perhaps, maybe from today, he could send a communique to all his branches around Greater Accra to ensure that they help with the awareness creation, sensitization, and for that matter, helping people to keep their environment clean.
Reverend Kranchiankra pledged his support for the campaign and also prayed for all government officials.
Give him wisdom and give him favor, that the president will take his counsel in the name of Jesus.
For JoyNews, I am Hannah Odami.
Back in the studio at Kokomlemle, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. And still to come in this bulletin in business, a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School is calling for some sort of regulation for businesses that operate online. We have details in business shortly.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Kobi Mensah, has suggested the formulation of some regulations for businesses operating online and using digital channels. According to Dr. Mensah, the operations of online businesses have become critical in recent times due to the outbreak of COVID-19, which brought restrictions to physical meetings. He was speaking to Joy Business at the Maiden BrandCon Africa 2022, organized by the Business and Financial Times.
The conference was focused on conversations on brands, branding and marketing. BrandCon Africa seeks to become the home of everything brands, marketing, communication and public relations. As the guest speaker, senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Kobi Mensah, admitted that many businesses have moved online to overcome the challenges of COVID-19. He believes that a good regulation will boost confidence in online services.
We've got to invest in systems that could be robust enough to prevent people's cards being stolen, the online phishing. And then, of course, you've got to make sure that people are buying things that are wholesome. That is, when they actually receive exactly what they expected. But that actually calls for regulations. It means that we need strong regulatory system to police the online market. Currently, I don't think that we have a very strong regulatory system. I mean, we have the data protection agency that actually looks at how people's data are being used, etc. But we haven't really had that conversation about who governs the online market.
Chief Executive for the Business and Financial Times, Godwin Akwe, described the conference as a celebration for outstanding brands in the midst of COVID-19.
Under the banner of marketing, communication, brands, corporate affairs, or public relations departments, these in-house or external bodies have served as the focal point of communicating and promoting their brands in innovative ways. The result of their work is evident as state institutions, finance houses, mining firms, telcos, fintechs, agric, and educational institutions and several economic actors have displayed remarkable resilience and growth.
Meanwhile, small and medium enterprises have been advised to maintain trust in their service delivery.
In other news, the private sector has been urged to play a leading role in addressing the rising housing deficit, which currently hovers around 2 million housing units. According to Chief Executive Officer of Properties GH, Eugene Bardodu, government doesn't have enough capacity to build so many houses, and therefore the private sector should lead the agenda. He was speaking to Joy Business at the launch of propertiesgh.com, a website that connects consumers with properties to buy or rent. There is more in this report.
Looking for affordable home to rent or buy is a major problem in this country, not to talk about information. But Properties GH is making it easier for prospective house owners and those looking for rent. Here is its Chief Executive, Eugene Bardodu, who believes the private sector is critical in addressing the rising housing deficit.
The private sector has a role to play. And we at propertiesgh.com, we also realize that sometimes the reason for that deficit is just a mismatch or lack of communication, where someone who is actually looking for a property is not able to find that property. Because we still have, even though there's a deficit, we still have consumers who are looking for a place to rent all the time, but are not able to find it within a reasonable time. So we are doing our part in trying to solve the mismatch problem, but going on further on, I think the private sector has a huge role, and we don't always have to rely on the government to play that role.
He also urged the government to partner the private sector to enhance the housing sector to build affordable housing for all.
Any policy prescription, I would have said to encourage more of private government partnership in a lot of ventures, and then to create an enabling environment for people who want to actually build for the masses or to bring affordable housing to the population.
The presence of Property GH is expected to bring relief to many Ghanaians who come around looking for houses to buy or rent. Majid Michel is the brand ambassador for Properties GH.
And that's business for now. Before we go, just a quick programming alert. At 1 p.m. on the marketplace, an interesting conversation on Ghana's debt crisis from the students' perspective. Participating in schools, University of Ghana Business School, University of Cape Coast, School of Business, UPSA Faculty of Accounting and Finance, and Valley View University's School of Business. So that's at 1 p.m. with Charles Ayete. Do not miss it. Sports is coming up next.
And now for sports, Mubarak Haruna has joined me with more. It's all about the Ghana Premier League, right? Yesterday,
yes.
Kotoko played.
They played at the Endum Stadium and they had a chance to extend their lead at the top of the table to 7 points, but they lost by 2-1 to a bottom side Elmina Sharks. That is quite surprising because Kotoko are in the ascendancy when we are talking about the league position. But we were surprised that they were not able to win yesterday, and so now they are. But still, they are 4 points clear at the top. So, and they are leading Hearts of Oak, their rivals, with 10 points. So they are in a comfortable seat at the moment. I think we have the full table that we can look forward to. Kotoko, they are currently leading with Bechem United.
The full table will appear very soon so that you can describe it for us. But let's look at the performance. Yesterday was
the end of match day 16.
How has it been so far?
Well, it has been, I would say, so many upsets because Hearts of Oak also lost to Great Olympics. Great Olympics themselves are not really good this season, but when they met Hearts of Oak in the Manchester Derby, they were able to win. And yesterday's results as well, Asante Kotoko losing to a bottom plate side. So I think it's kind of surprising.
Okay. Do we have the table so that we can look at what the table... But so you say Kotoko is in a comfortable...
Yeah, in a comfortable... That word is dangerous. I don't want to use that word. But they are. I think we are having 18 matches remaining. And if you are 7 points clear with an outstanding game, in case you win the outstanding game, there will be 10 points clear. I think they are home and dry. Okay,
let's look at the 18 matches that are left for us.
Well, they have some big matches at Asante Kotoko because, like I said, they will play against us, Hearts of Oak. They'll play against Ashanti Gold, they'll play against Aduana Stars. All these teams are really difficult to beat at home. And when they face against Kotoko, they are really keen to win. So it is very difficult. But they are 7 points clear is huge.
But that's not enough for them to rest on their
it's not enough. Yeah.
Right, we have the table now.
So you can see Asante Kotoko, Bechem United, King Faisal, and Mediama Great Olympics. Hearts are in 7th, and they are 10 points behind Asante Kotoko.
Okay, so you can also see Karela United.
What's quite surprising on the table is that all the teams that have been promoted are doing very well. They are not in the relegation zone. You talk about RTU, you talk about BBN Gold Stars, and then Accra Lions. Yeah, they are not in the relegation zone, and that is something very, very positive. And it's just the Premier League sides that are in the relegation zone. Wafa, they are really good, but this season, we don't know what's happening. They're in 16th, and then 11 Wonders in 17th. Then the last team is Elmina Sharks.
Wow, so wish them luck in the... You said they have 18 more games.
18 more games to go, yes.
Yes. But with the 7 points, and the point I was making, the fact that they have 7 clear points doesn't,
Yeah, they have 4 points. They are 4 points clear, but they have an outstanding game. If they win, they will be 7 points clear.
Okay, so it means that they still have to work hard.
Yes, exactly.
Mubarak Haruna brought us sports. Thank you so much. And that'll be it for sports. That'll be it also for News Desk.